Welcome to the Minnesota State Fair. This evening, we're at the Fine Arts Building, located at Cosgrove and Randall. Preview night is held before the State Fair opens for participating and non-participating artists and their friends. During the State Fair, not only will there be art demonstrations during the day, but handouts to entertain both children and adults in their annual art scavenger hunt. And now, stay tuned to meet some of Minnesota's finest artists. We're going to start our show with an artist we did not get to interview. His name was Brian Burrell, and he created a sculpture made out of miscellaneous tools, and it's called Metal Dog. So if you get a chance and you're at the fair, why don't you go and visit Metal Dog?
Hello, I'm Richard A. Claddy at the 2018 Minnesota State Fair here with Suzanne. Suzanne, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your work of art.
All right. My name is Suzanne Howe. I'm a representational painter, and my entry in the State Fair this year is a painting called Agree to Disagree. And when I was putting together this piece, I noticed that if I put them back to back, they kind of look like they were having a conversation, or not having a conversation, actually. And so when I'm doing pieces, I'm trying to do something with a little bit more clean, modern look, but still using representational techniques.
Excellent. Now, here we are at the fair, and a lot of people here today. What kind of reaction have you got from this painting today?
Oh, it's been very positive, and I was really excited. I got an award also. So.
Oh, what award was that?
It was for modern design, actually.
Modern design,
yeah.
Very good.
So.
Well, I mean, it's a beautiful, the detail is exceptional. And
Thank you.
How many years have you been working in this field here?
Like 20, 25 years.
So give us a little background.
So I have a master's degree, and I also went to the Atelier in Minneapolis, which I think if you're in the arts community, you're probably aware of that school. They teach the drawing and painting techniques of the old masters.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
the detail is just fantastic. I mean, how do you start with it? You get a nice blue background and you start working on the detail. How's this work?
Actually, underneath all of this, there's a lot of broken color. There's a lot of bright color, and that's how you get the sparkle in the white pieces.
Oh, fantastic.
Because if you look really close, you can see pink
the
and
sparkling.
blue and green.
Yeah, that's the key to this is people.
White isn't white.
Yeah, you got to get close to this thing, that's for sure. I mean, the different shades of white and the colors sparkling at you, that is fantastic.
Exactly.
Well, do you have a website where people can
I do.
contact?
Actually, it's SuzanneHowe.net. So.
Well, how many years have you been here at the State Fair?
I haven't been here for a while, so I'm really excited to have an entry that's been included this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well,
it's
congratulations. Great
Thank
work.
you. Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Please introduce yourself and the title of your work.
Hi, my name is Leslie Barlow, and my painting is titled Stephen, Jeffrey, and Twins.
And what inspired this piece or idea?
Yeah, there's a lot of different layers to this piece, but really it comes from a body of work that I created in 2017 called the Loving series, and that was inspired by the Loving versus Virginia Supreme Court case 50th anniversary. So I wanted to have a body of work that featured interracial couples from the Twin Cities. There were 10 pieces originally, but then 13 pieces total in the series, and this is one of them.
That's wonderful. What type of medium are you using here?
Yep. So it's quilted fabric, so cotton fabric adhered to a wood panel, and then oil painting on top of that.
Are you experimenting with other mediums that you are finding
Yeah, I mean,
interesting?
I'm still working with improving my sewing skills. So I'm actually taking sewing classes right now. I really want to expand what I can do with sewing and painting. I think the combination of those two languages is really interesting and not something that you see very often.
Notice you won a number of awards tonight, plus the coup de grace. You actually sold it, which was very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you think of the awards you won tonight?
I mean, it's awesome. I haven't looked out the other two yet, but I have shown a piece at the Minnesota Museum of American Art before in a show called We the People, and that was last year. So to know that they've now bought a piece of mine for their permanent collection is just, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, and being sold is the topping of on everything. Well, you have a website the audience can go to check out more of your work.
Yeah, my website is www.lesliebarlowartist.com. Yeah.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for your time. It's a great piece of work, and we hope to see you around.
Yeah, thank you so much for interviewing me.
Andrew, could you introduce yourself and let everyone know the title of your photo?
Sure. My name's Andy Chow. I'm from Hugo, Minnesota. The title of my photograph is called Inner Light, and it was taken in Guilin, China, which is a province of southern China.
And what brought you to China?
Well, my heritage and my background is from China. My mother and father are from China. I happened to be there on a work trip, and I've always wanted to take a photography workshop in what I think is one of the most picturesque places in the world. So I took this opportunity to expand my business trip and go to Guilin for 4 days to kind of seek out the landscape, to seek out the cormorant fishermen that spent their history fishing in a very unique way in this area of China.
And is this a river?
So this was shot on the Li River in near Guilin. It's a really unique river valley in the middle of China, full of delta regions and the really unique rock formations that you see behind in the photograph.
So what inspired you to do this in the evening?
So what was interesting is, and I think photographers can relate with this, but usually when the weather is bad and things are not like they would normally be for a regular tourist, that's when things appear the way you want them to appear. So we were actually out shooting at these fishermen at their village, at their homes, and we'd planned to go out on the river that night, and we ended up going because it was raining and misting, because of the kind of the mood that it set in the evening. It also chased off all the tourists and whatnot on the river, so you'll notice that there's almost no background clutter and things that connect with kind of the modern world. So that's really the reason why we ended up being there that night and capturing this image.
And I've also noticed you've won an award.
Yeah, it was quite surprising because it seems like all my friends and family knew before I did. But yes, I placed first in the photography category, which was a really nice surprise. I guess this is, I think, my 6th or 7th year of entering in the state fair. With really little to no success. So this is a really nice surprise, and I'm still a little shocked, quite honestly.
Well, I was wondering, is photography part of your job, or is this your something you just enjoy doing on the side?
Yeah, I wish it were part of my job, but this is really just a hobby that lets me kind of get away and relax and be with friends that really enjoy this same form of art. And I really just enjoy being out and capturing images wherever I can, even if it's with my phone.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, please introduce yourself and let us know the title of your work here.
My name is Monica Sheets, and the work is titled When We Work Together, We Create Conflict.
And what particularly inspired this piece or this idea for this piece?
So this piece was inspired by a project that I had done in Germany, where I was actually working directly with the public, doing a collaborative piece, creating a space for people to talk about their experiences in East Germany. And this sign, and I actually also have another neon sign, the phrases for them are reflections on what it's like to do these sort of community-based collaborative projects where you're working in a group with other people.
You work in other mediums, I understand. What other mediums do you work with?
I tend to work with whatever media seems appropriate for the project, for the content of the project or the thought behind it. But I would say mostly I work in sculpture or installation, where I'm bringing together a bunch of objects into a space to create a certain sort of environment for people to experience. And there's usually a lot of audio, sometimes audio interviews that I've done with members of the public as part of that.
Where would people see more of your work like this?
People should just go to my website, monicasheets.com. There they can see all of the projects that I've done in the past, and that's also where I post where shows that are coming up or events that are coming up that I'm going to be in. Actually, I should mention that this project was actually funded by a Minnesota State Arts Board grant, which is in part funded by the legacy funds that we all pay as part of our sales tax. Okay. So that's super important to acknowledge, and I'm super honored to receive awards like that as well.
I noticed you won a couple of awards tonight. I see that came as quite a big surprise for you, and you don't know much about them, but you are honored by them,
Yeah.
obviously.
Obviously, yeah. It was a great surprise to come in and see the two little notices of awards on the sculpture, because they don't tell you about that in advance. And so I was super surprised, and I still actually don't know exactly what they mean, but I'm excited to find out. Yeah.
Wonderful. Monica, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the awards tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful fair opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for talking
All right.
with me.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and give us the title of your picture.
I'm John Stottlemyre. This is my photograph. The title is Fruit Sellers, Rajasthan, India. I spent 2 weeks in the area of Rajasthan, classic India. It's called. The town represented in the image is actually where the Taj Mahal is located. But this scene is very different, of course, and it was just a real pleasure for me to wander the streets and talk to the local people. They were so gracious and open and charming, just very welcoming people, very warm people.
Curiosity, how many photos did you take with the digital age before you found the one that you really inspired you to send into the state fair?
Throughout the month-long trip, oh man, I think there was probably 6,000, 7,000 photographs, that many captures. Maybe of this particular subject, only 40 or 50. And, you sit down after the trip and review your images and you select what works, and you can be a little bit more free, less emotionally attached after the fact when you're looking at the images on computer.
And so this one, out of all of those, popped out to you.
Yeah, and I share my work with others, with my peers, other photographers, and they felt strongly about this image, and I liked it as well. So I felt it was unique enough to enter into the fair here.
We have to talk about the award.
It's a surprise to me.
So what is it for?
Honorable mention in the category of photography. That was very, very thoughtful, very, very nice.
I remember when we came around the corner and you go, oh, you were quite surprised.
Just as an artist, I love to share my work, and it's a privilege to be able to share it with so many people here.
John, do you have a website that others can go to and see more of your work?
Yes, I do. Thank you for asking, Mary. It's worldviewphoto.net.
Well, thank you so much for allowing us to talk with you, John.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, we're at this 2018 State Fair with the Bag Lady, and could you please introduce yourself, the artist of this project?
I am Mary Zabriskie.
Well, Mary, what inspired you to produce this work of art?
Well, a friend of mine gets very many different kinds of newspapers, and they each come in a different color plastic bag. And she had a whole pile of those plastic bags in her porch, and I looked at them one day and I said, could I have those? And would you save some more for me? I'm sure there's something I'll be able to do with them at some point.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, who did the clothing? Is that your work too?
All of it, yep.
All of it?
And I put the strips between two pieces of paper and ironed them so they would stick together. Then I rolled all those ironed strips into a ball of yarn. Her skirt is crocheted. Her mittens are knit. Her shoes are knit.
Sure.
Her hat was on a loom. Her scarf is crocheted. Her blouse is crocheted. One of the bags I sewed. One of them I braided.
What I'm really impressed about is that face there.
Yeah.
How did you put that together?
Well, there was a head at the craft store.
Okay.
And I tried to, when I put the plastic bag around the head, I stretched a little to make wrinkles, so she's supposed to be kind of old.
How about the lips there?
They're crocheted. They're about the 5th time I crocheted them. And when anybody said, those lips, and I said, you try to crochet lips and see how yours turn out.
So a woman is actually walking in it's a wintertime theme, I
Yeah,
see.
she's walking in the snow.
Excellent. You win any awards for this?
Yes.
What award would that be?
It says first place down
First
there.
place, excellent.
Yeah.
And what category would that be?
Sculpture.
Sculpture, oh, it's a beautiful thing. Thank you very much for being part of this show, and we hope to see some more future projects.
Thank you.
David, could you introduce yourself and give us the title of your photograph?
Sure. My name is Dave Bilgen. I'm from St. Paul, from the West End area. My photograph is entitled Mickey's at Midnight, which is probably one of my most photographed areas. Mickey's Diner, I've shot hundreds of photographs there.
And is there some sort of history between you and the diner?
Between me and old downtown St. Paul, I also love the original Coney Island restaurant, the Hotel St. Paul, anything that's from a memory of my childhood, I try to capture before it's gone.
And why midnight? And then was it the inspiration, one lonely little person eating there?
Lighting, for one. As a photographer, I always look for light and shadow. But number two, I identify with the emptiness and the loneliness. I shoot a lot of photographs in the dark of downtown and different areas and buildings in the dark. A lot of abandoned homes. It's kind of what I look for. I look for places from the past that, and maybe wonder why they hung on and why some others didn't. And I just like to capture moments like this. To me, when I saw this gentleman eating there by himself, it was both heartbreaking and touching at the same time to me.
Did the gentleman turn around and notice that you took a photo of him at all?
He did later on, and he looked at me and kind of smiled, and I don't like those images as well. This gentleman, particular gentleman, I've seen at Mickey's probably 30 or 40 different times.
Do you have a website that
I do not
see?
have a website. I've had several exhibitions around town, predominantly at Artista Bottega on West 7th, which is now unfortunately closed. And I've been in a few coffee shops and things like that.
And I noticed that yours actually has sold.
Yeah, it sold.
That little red dot.
Yes, that was nice. A nice surprise. I came in, I found the photograph, I went and sat down and listened to the little presentation, came back and there was a red dot on it. So it sold by within the first hour, which is very nice.
Oh, that's
very intriguing.
exciting. And
Yeah.
then I have one more question.
Sure.
Is this your first time entering the state fair?
I've entered, this is my fourth time entering and the first time I've actually got in. I've been accepted to this, what they call the second round, every time, but this time I got through all the way.
So not only are you
exciting.
in the state fair, but you actually have a work of art that has sold.
Sold at the state fair.
That's pretty darn.
Sold at the
yes.
state fair.
And that is exciting.
Yes.
Well,
you.
congratulations,
Thank you
and thank
very
you for
much.
talking to us.
You bet. Thank you very much.
Dar, could you give us your full name and the name of your sculpture?
I'm Dar Eckert, and the name of my piece is Gift. And it's a raku-fired ceramic is what it's made out of. And I don't know if you want me to tell you a little bit about that, but...
yes, it would be interesting.
I rolled out ceramic into thin slabs, and then I cut them into the shape. It dries, and then I have to bisque fire them, which is the first time you fire them. And you put it in the kiln, and you heat it up to about 1800 degrees, and you let it cool off. And then you take it out of the kiln, and then you paint it. You paint each individual one of these by hand, and then you put it back in the kiln again. And you fire it up to about 1800 degrees, and then I take it out of the kiln at 1800 degrees, and I put it into a garbage can. And the garbage can is filled with combustible materials, and that just bursts into flames. And everything that is not glazed on your piece will turn black. So the black that's on here is carbon from the fire. It's not a glaze. It's just unglazed. So that's how it's made. I have 150 butterflies on here, and it took me about a month to make them.
Now I have this one question. I've noticed you've won several awards here at the Minnesota State Fair.
Well, I am just so honored. I was so unexpected. So yes, I'm really honored. I got the Minnesota State Fair Foundation Award, and then fourth place in ceramics. So yes, I was very happy with that.
And is this your first time at the State Fair, or have you entered?
No, actually, this is the second time. I was here 2 years ago, and at that time I won honorable mention.
And then I noticed, and this always excites me, and I don't know about the artist, but when you sell something at the state fair.
Yes, that's really unexpected also. You hope it works out that way, but, it doesn't always. So I feel really fortunate.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And it's just a fabulous work of art. Okay, Rick, could you give us your full name and the name of your piece?
Hi, my name is Rick Dublin, and the name of my piece is Just Another Monday Morning.
And where was this photo taken?
This was taken in a small town next to the Yangtze River.
Why did you choose this particular photo to send into the state fair?
China is so rich with photography, imagery, that it's everywhere. And that one was just stuck out to me when I was walking by, and I saw the woman, and so I did a little series with the woman as she was walking there, and this is the one that I liked the best.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about this particular picture?
Well, the reason I liked it so much, and the reason I picked it for the state fair, was I thought it was rich with detail, told a lot of stories, not just of the woman walking there, but if you look at it closely, there's so much going on in there, so much that you can talk about. There she is in this sort of old-fashioned looking scene, but yet the three women on the left side all have cell phones, and that's what they're looking at. And she's dressed quite well. There's satellite dishes on the rooftops. And it just was so interesting, and you keep seeing things every time you look at it.
Have you ever entered any artwork at the Minnesota State Fair before?
I've never entered anything at the State Fair before. This is the first time. I've come every year. I always admired the work that's here, but this was the thing that I just decided I would enter it. And other years I kind of forgot to do it. I always had stuff, but I always forgot to put it in.
So this year you actually entered.
Yeah, go figure.
Do you have a website or anything for anybody to see some more of your photo work?
I do. My website is dublinproductions.com. All one word, plural.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story with us, and
thank you.
Congratulations
thank you.
on making it all the way to the finals and getting into the state fair.
Cheers.
Hi, my name is Malin Interview. This piece is titled Cleanliness of Gardunot. It's acrylic on masonite. Most of my current work is based off of places that I've traveled, and I've been to Paris a couple times now. And what I like to do is I take photos and then I look at them on my laptop or monitor, and I paint them, and as I paint them, I edit them. So in this piece, you'll find bits and pieces of myself, some of my past art assignments on the iPad advertisements, and I play the piano as well, and I put that there. I really love detail and just kind of exploring how much I can do just technically.
Do you work with other mediums in this style, or?
I primarily work with acrylics. I have recently been working with watercolors as well. I also work with graphite, India ink, multimedia. Some of my most recent pieces have been a combination of watercolor, colored pencil, India ink, and graphite. And I just kind of look at what I'm about to paint or draw and figure out which medium would be the most appropriate.
Have you won awards for other pieces you've done, or?
In the Primavera, it's an art show that's in Plymouth. I've won awards of excellence. I won the Primavera Award.
And it's definitely an honor to be picked for the State Fair show as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited to actually be in the exhibition this year.
Well, congratulations for
Thank you.
The piece and getting here at the State Fair show, and we wish you continued luck.
All right, thank you.
This is Richard A. Claddy at the 2018 Minnesota State Fair with a fantastic piece of art here. Would you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about this artwork?
Hey, Richard. My name is Brandon Ward. This is my painting. It's called Shark Week. It's an abstract oil painting, as you can see, and I think I painted it during Shark Week, thus the name.
Actually, I mean, you're doing a fantastic job. There's great flow to it. How does this painting begin?
So the painting began with like an initial color base and then some large color kind of going overward. So I kind of got my base figured out. And then after I've did that, then I kind of added more color down here. As you can see, there's more green and yellows over here. It's a little whiter up here, and it gets a little more red, magenta, and yellowish in this kind of quadrant. So I kind of tried to let the colors have their own space, but kind of combine them on the canvas.
Okay, now is this a series of paintings, or is this your first attempt at this style, or what's your background?
Yeah, so this is part of a series, you could say. Yeah, abstract paintings. I think, I like color, and I think in the future, probably what I'll do is try to incorporate more color. I'd like to...
More color,
more
you
color,
say. More,
yeah,
this,
but in a
this,
more
this
control...
needs a little more color.
But not like this, no. I actually would like to paint ice cream cones and waffle cones and put them in a grid.
So more of a detail.
Because everyone likes ice cream.
Okay, an abstract ice cream cone? Or
maybe, I don't know.
What kind of reaction are you getting to this painting?
I don't know. It's first night. We'll see.
So you plan on being here throughout the state fair?
I think I'm going to try to come at least once, yeah.
Oh,
Can't
yeah,
miss
you
it.
got to
get the cheese curds, got to get the corn dogs,
Okay, so have you... well, how long have you been painting? I mean, is this you've been working on this for a long time, or?
I've been painting for a couple of years, probably about 5 years.
Okay, did you start with a teacher or a school or anything, or just?
No,
what inspired you? What got you going?
Actually, a couple inspirations. My wife's great-grandmother was an abstract painter in like the 50s and 60s, and then I kind of grew up around art, and then one day I just decided that I wanted to paint, so I just went for it. Yeah, I just went for it. Watched a lot of YouTube videos, and
so you're telling people out there, if you got the
I'm telling you right now, if you want to learn how to do
artist.
something, just go onto YouTube, talk to Mary. You can find the resources. Where there's, if you want to do something, you'll find a way to figure out how to do it.
Excellent, Brandon. Now, do you have a website or?
I have an Instagram. It's brandon.h.ward. BRANDON.h.WARD.
Well, congratulations,
thanks
Brandon.
a lot.
It's a great piece of work here.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Looking for local? Even more local? CCX Media gives you the option to connect with your community on multiple levels. CCX Create welcomes you, community residents, to connect and experience television in an exciting way. The free TV classes we offer will have you on your way to creating TV, and our wide variety of content can be watched at home or on the go. Connect to what's happening in your community. Visit ccxmedia.org.